TikTok and beauty standards. Hi, my name is Ivy and welcome back to my channel. If you are brand new to my channel, then hi, welcome. Today we're going to be talking about TikTok and its beauty standards. As we were talking about different types of content on TikTok and all that, I just want to preface and say that I'm not here to bash anyone's content whatsoever or make anyone feel bad about it. Like, I know content creation, it's a lot of work. It's very, very difficult to continue to come up with a lot of new creative ideas to do for videos, whether that be YouTube or TikTok or even Instagram. I know it's very difficult to keep the flow of creativity. I know how much work a lot of creators spend to put into this kind of content. I know for myself because I post a YouTube video once a week and it can be very, very difficult. So I'm not here to like bash anyone's content. I just want to talk about the standards in general. I just also purely want to talk about this like revelation and this thought that I've received, and I just feel like it would actually help a lot out there, if that makes any sense. Social media can be such a great place to be on. It's such an interesting thing though, because from it, I feel like I've learned a lot. I've gotten super inspired by so many people. I feel a lot more connected to people that I never would have met in real life if I didn't have social media. I feel like I'm also able to connect with friends and family on the apps that I have, and it can be really great for that. But it is also a place where, in allowing myself to view other people's lives, it's made me feel also very insecure, not good enough sometimes, not worthy enough. I believe the term influencers is influencer for a reason. I know a lot of people, when they say like, oh yeah, I'm an influencer, haha, they like kind of just brush it off because it does sound like a very kind of like up yourself kind of term if you say like, yeah, I'm a social media influencer. I feel like that term or that job description holds so much weight because it is true. You are actually influencing other people daily. If you are following people on like any kind of social media platform, it doesn't have to be an influencer, it could be a friend or a family, you are actually getting influenced by people, whether you like it or not, or whether it is subconscious or not. It just happens. That just happens when you view other people's lives daily. You are being influenced by their lives and you're being influenced by what it is that you're seeing on your screen. Okay, so like in many of my previous videos, I've talked about the fact that like I'm super careful with who I follow on Instagram. I try not to follow a lot of people just because I think their content's really pretty. I always try to like follow people based off like the message that they put out there, because I know for me that it influences me so subconsciously. I try to be super intentional about what I consume daily being on these different apps. But in saying that though, like the revelation and thought that I've had lately is that I want to be even more intentional with all these different things, not just the apps that I use like on YouTube and Instagram and TikTok and all that, but also even like with everything that I do, with the books that I read, the YouTube videos that I watch, YouTubers I watch, people I follow, podcasts I listen to, music, because I know that actually will get to me at some point or another. That is just kind of like the foreground of this video. This is the base layer. The base layer of this video and like TikTok and its beauty standards is this idea of like being super intentional in your everyday life with what you consume and what you see and what you put into yourself. Because if you think about it, like when it comes to food, you would be super conscious about what you eat. You wouldn't eat Pizza Hut and McDonald's like 7 times in a week because you know you'll just feel like crap. Whereas like when it comes to social media and the things that we read and see every day, like when it comes to the news, the music we listen to, we're not very conscious about the fact that like that all of it actually affects us as well, and our behavior and the way that we think. When we talk about TikTok and the app in itself, I know it can be super addicting. Like I know for myself, especially in the pandemic, like lockdown period, I got so addicted to TikTok, and I still think that I can be really addicted to TikTok. I could sit in the same spot for literally 3 hours just scrolling and scrolling and scrolling and watching videos endlessly, and I will actually be entertained for 3 hours. I know I'm not the only person out there. The app is actually made to be super addictive, and so many people are probably love it to the point where they would spend the same amount of time that I'd spend on it. But something that I recently realized since I've gone out to set myself more intentionality with my consumption on social media is that TikTok is actually crazy. You have absolutely no control over what it is that you see and what it is you consume. It doesn't matter how many people you follow or who you decide to follow. The algorithm is just gonna recommend all these different videos to you constantly. And that's the thing, it's like an endless streaming service. It is out of videos to recommend you in your niche. It'll still recommend you all these different videos. It recommends you all these different videos from all these different platforms, not just beauty and makeup and fashion. It will recommend you everything. Anything that you can think of, someone has made a video about it and TikTok will recommend it to you. The thing is though, now at 24, I feel like I have the maturity to filter through these way better. And I'm not saying that I'm perfect, but I definitely have a better control of like these things that I see and the way that I view them now than when I did at like 16 or 18 or 21. And I know for a fact that like young girls as young as my sister, who is 6 years old, like bless her heart, she occasionally spends time just scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. I love her to pieces, and I'm so grateful that she is literally just learning how to read at the moment, and she just loves watching like the little dog videos. But like sometimes weird videos get put on her For You page that is just way out of her control. When it comes to beauty standards, like all these weird beauty standards are being pushed and shoved to like all these young people out there, as young as like my sister who is 6 years old. If we're being completely honest, like for me, a 24-year-old, I have the capacity to handle that and the maturity to handle that. But at 6, she definitely does not. Even for like kids from like 16 to 19, I know the majority of the people on that app are actually like in their teenage years or about to go into their teenage years, and it can be so influential to them. But that's scary for me because I know at 16 I didn't have a grasp of all these different things that was like being put in front of me and social media that I would consume. Like to know that there's millions and millions and millions of teenagers and young children on that app kind of like worries me for like the mental health of like the generation coming after us. Before I actually get into the TikToks that I want to discuss, I just want to encourage you with two things. That like A, you are beautiful. I feel like there are so many videos that are so just weirdly specific that really want to like, I guess, fetishize like with nose structures or like eyes and like the way that you look from a side profile and having a certain body type, all these different things, like having a certain look, and it makes people feel like crap because they're not like good enough, or they don't have a nice slim nose and they have a big nose, or they have really small eyes with no double eyelids or something like that. I just wanted to reassure you that like God made no mistake in making you, and the way that you are beautiful. And just because this is what like society or like TikTok shows and like you don't fit into that standard, that doesn't mean that you're not beautiful. Secondly, I hope we can just all become more conscious of the processes and eventually just put content out there that is actually positive and spreads so much more positivity and love to others. So the first TikTok that I wanted to talk about, I'm pretty sure you've all seen this, and if not, you've probably seen this like line somewhere. It actually originates from TikTok, I'm pretty sure. It's the I ain't never seen two pretty best friends. It's always one of them gotta be ugly. I'm known for running my mouth. I'm known for running my Like firstly, that in itself is like, what? Like why would you say that? I know this trend is to prove people wrong, to show that like there can be such thing as like two pretty best friends. Look at me and my best friend. And that's great. I love that like women hype each other up. You're being really supportive and hyping your best friend up and yourself and everything. Can I just firstly say that that sound is just so unnecessary. I know people just like are trying to make videos for fun, and it's like no one's really thinking too much of it. It's very lighthearted, but I'm just like here analyzing it maybe, but like I know for a fact that at 15, if I had TikTok and I was in that TikTok generation and I heard that sound and watched through all the videos through that sound, I would feel like absolute crap. Like when I was 14 or 15, I had a girl that I considered my best friend and she was like absolutely beautiful. I felt like all the guys liked her, and it felt, for me personally, I guess like I felt a little bit insecure being friends with someone like that because I felt like I was like the ugly best friend. It doesn't really matter anymore like what I think or anything like that, but like I know if a 15-year-old probably heard that sound, I don't necessarily know if they're going to like automatically think like, oh, it's me and my best friend. Like they're gonna pit themselves against each other. What if somebody actually feels less attractive than their best friend or doesn't feel good enough like their best friend? Their best friend is the one that like gets more male attention and you just don't. Like I feel like this sound is so unnecessary because it creates such a rift in friendships. It creates like competition and jealousy, which is so unhealthy in a friendship, and that's not what you want at all. What you want is like two friends that are together and friends to build each other up and to continuously like encourage each other and be there for each other. But if you are thinking things like, oh, I'm the ugly best friend, or like, oh, I'm the prettier best friend, I'm just secretly not gonna say it, it's just gonna create like this mindset of competition subconsciously. What scares me the most is that like when I scroll through that sound and I see all the videos made by people, a lot of them are actually so young, like they're teenagers, and it just scares me how like subconsciously we can be affected by these kind of things. The second TikTok sound or like trend that I want to talk about, I'm pretty sure you all know this song. It's by Jessie J, and there's a line in it that people have picked out from it, and it goes, "She got a body like an hourglass." And the trend is basically you take a large oversized tee and you film yourself in front of the camera, obviously having a large oversized tee. It really doesn't show your figure, but then you kind of like suck it in and then you show the hourglass figure underneath it. The first time I saw this trend going around was actually like this girl. She was duetting the video. She watched a video and then she tried it herself, and then when she realized she didn't have that hourglass figure that the same first girl had, she just fell to the floor.
We were adrift.
Really funny. I laughed at it at first, but then I saw so many people doing this and I just kept thinking like, wow, that's actually pretty sad. Because when you read through the comments, it's actually just a lot of girls just bashing their own figure, saying like, haha, I look like a stick, or ha, I wish. Like I love a good thirst trap. I love when I watch like all these makeover videos like from girls, like seeing good transformation from girls. I know we all love to see like a good transformation video, but when people react to these and you see them like literally crying or falling over themselves, upset, or just like commenting hurtful things about themselves, it is so hard to read because you try to envision who would be behind that trying to read that, and like they write a comment like, haha, I look like a stick, but someone's probably thinking about that for the rest of the day. They could be somewhere in the middle of Sydney, Australia, just sitting in their apartment all day just thinking about that TikTok, really upset, or just like thinking about the fact that they don't have that because of like one 15-second video that they watched. I just feel like these things are so impactful and they can really make such a difference in your everyday mindset and the way that you see yourself. But in reality, like everyone is so different. You're not weird for not having an hourglass figure. You're just unique, and that's beautiful still. And the third trend that I want to talk about, I actually don't understand this trend. From the very beginning, since watching all these people do these videos, like I don't understand it. It's the flipping your camera and reversing it to see your face. It's like taking a photo of yourself and then reversing the image to see what it would look like reversed.
I look really pretty until the camera flips my face. Check.
Like I get it, it's probably not gonna look amazing, but I've seen like a 16-year-old girl crying over this, and like I'm just a little bit confused. Like you don't look ugly flipped around. You don't even look ugly at all. Your face just is from a different angle. It's such a weird trend. Like I'm not understanding it at all. If someone could explain it in the comments down below, that would be great. I just think that it's super interesting that we let even like the smallest things like this of how someone would view our photos, or like our photos would be viewed if we flipped it around and we base our self-worth and our value in that, which is so, actually makes me really sad to think about. Because like your value is not based on that and what you look like, especially when your photo is reversed. It should be based on like who you are within. It makes me so sad to see someone like crying over the fact that like they feel unattractive because their face is flipped. In saying that though, the main message of this video was just to like, I guess, bring other people awareness, or like make them more conscious of like the content that you consume, the social media things that you consume. TikTok is such an amazing place and it is a great app with such a good community to it, but there are so many things that I feel like also can be so harmful. If you guys want to see another video on this where I talk about like other trends that we've seen on TikTok, comment them down below, or like even what are your thoughts on these like different TikTok trends and like even your experiences of how it's influenced you or made you feel. I would actually love to read through them and love to hear about what you guys have to say. I just want to say in the end, you're beautiful, you are so loved, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like this video if you liked it. Subscribe if you haven't already. I post a new video every single Thursday. And follow me on my Instagram. It's @ivy_Nicole with 2 E's. See ya!